We are all things motoring. We are Change Cars, and welcome back to a new episode. This week, I'm not alone as always, and we are here to answer all of your questions and share our experiences. And obviously, I don't have much experience except for the man that has been in the motor industry for plus 30 years. How are you, Michael?
Thank you, Nicky. Always good. I hope you well. And I just want to say it is an absolute privilege to do what we're doing. As we've gone on now many weeks, we're seeing the incredible growth in interaction, the amount of questions that are coming through online, the amount of questions that are coming through to me personally, absolutely magnificent. What I'm trying to say is keep it coming. We love it. That's what makes us smile.
100%. How's the week? How's it been?
Boring. Just work. Unlike you, I come into the parking lot, and every single week when we do this, I come in the same car, my same old boring car. All it's got is cooled seats, air conditioning, panoramic sunroof.
Please add what engine it uses so that they know.
I think it's a 1200 twin turbo times 4.8 litre twin turbo. Nice and powerful. But you've got something exceptional today. The new
100%.
Mahindra. How do you even pronounce that model designation?
It's the Mahindra 3XO.
3XO.
Yes, it replaces the XUV700 in terms of naming.
So now what is interesting, we've got a lot of feedback on our recommendation of the Mahindra. I'm on record as saying I think Mahindra are doing exceptional work. I think the cars are good looking. I think they've got a
100%.
great dealer network. Yet there's a disagreement within the public sector. A lot of people think that car's ugly. What do you think of the 3XO?
I just don't like the front. That's as I agree with a lot of people, but surprisingly enough, people don't like the back. They like the front. Because when I did the launch video of the vehicle, I did mention that I'm not a fan of it in front, but the overall look of the vehicle, with the inside and at the back, especially the lighting at the back, for me. 100%.
But for me, what it is, it's a fresh, modern look. It is well priced, and looks are always subjective. However, it is a good-looking car. Can I be different and say I don't love the sides?
that's an interesting first time someone will say
I really do like the car. But what is interesting, people are talking about the backup, after sales, etc. Have you heard any problems?
With Mahindra? No, not at all.
I really haven't.
I've never heard someone come to me and say, Nikki, my Mahindra is giving me issues. Can you recommend a vehicle that I need to change? I've never seen even online, for example. I've always seen people complaining about other manufacturers, but it's never my Mahindra is giving me a problem.
Correct. What I found incredible about Mahindra is they've got two audiences now. They've got the public sector and they've got the farming community. And we've spoken about it before.
Yes,
when you win over the farming community with your buckies, you know you are doing something right. I can say to you, if I was looking for, I don't want to say an entry-level car, but a car in that category, that would be very close to the top of the pile. What's it like to drive?
It drives amazingly. I think a big upgrade. From the previous one, the previous one was it was a diesel and it was a 6-speed manual, and that was something to drive. It was very nice. Now they've integrated like a whole 1-liter turbo petrol and the whole automatic, and for me, it's a very nice car to drive. I like the Suzuki Frank. So, I'm always speaking about the Suzuki Frank, and I have the Suzuki Frank.
But this is more appealing.
This is more appealing in the sense of being inside of it. You can feel the premiumness of that Mahindra over like a Suzuki Frank, so on any entry level small compact.
But don't you find it incredible? Think about what we're saying. If you talk about Italian, you think sporty. If you think German, you think premium. If you think Japanese, you think what? Reliability, resale value.
100%.
Now we're talking about a Mahindra, which is Indian, and you're talking about premium. Just think about that. You've listened to what the public want. You know what the public want. You know how you're going to get sales, and that is what Mahindra have done.
Yeah, I think they've went ahead with a strong marketing plan and focusing onto the country and seeing what the people in the country like, and people like nice things in the country. And if you put it at a good price, they'll do well. Like even if you look at the car's older sister, the Mahindra XUV700. Yes, that's also a very good car, and you can get into that for just under 500,000 rand.
Well, I've mentioned it before. You go to Kruger National Park, you expect to see a certain caliber of car. When 1 in 3 cars, literally, that's what it looked like visually to me, was a Mahindra, you know you are doing something right.
100%.
Talking about doing something right, can you take that cap off
No.
for a second? I just want to see something.
Oh, I see something.
Just for... Yeah, it's because he doesn't have hair. That's why he wears a cap. Liqui Moly. What do you know about that brand? And how did you get that cap? Was it given to you? You working with them?
No, I wish I was working with them. I think if they could sponsor me, sponsor you, sponsor the podcast would be amazing. I went to Campfest when we were at Campfest early in February.
Yes.
With VW, and Liqui Moly was there, so I think they came with VW and they were giving us caps.
So now I've always said, if you have a quality car, make sure you're putting in quality products. You speak to people about Liqui Moly and you say, where does it come from? People say, is it local? Is it Italian? Is it American? Nobody thinks it's German.
100%.
Now let's go back to German quality. I know the importer of Liqui Moly into South Africa, the license holder, Malaysia, an exceptional lady who takes customer service to the next degree. I've been to their facility and you cannot believe. You walk into these beautiful offices and it overlooks a warehouse. And when I say a warehouse, when I think of a warehouse, what do you think of?
Warehouse.
Like how big?
Interesting. Big. A warehouse is something big. in the
Something you need
outskirts
lots
the
of
world.
forklifts in,
Yes,
and you need to
100%.
go around on a scooter. It is the cleanest, most well-run facility I've ever seen. Liqui Moly, well done to you. You're doing an amazing job. What are we chatting about today? Any
So,
questions?
Just a quick one before we move on.
Oh, you want to give Liqui Moly our details?
I
If you
think-
need to get hold of us, phone him.
I think a bit more because people are most probably wondering what is Liqui Moly, and I think you could just touch on what is and what does it work, where do you put it, those type of things.
So in terms of Liqui Moly, super simple. Everything that you need in your car, your oils, your filters, your antifreeze, that is what they do. If you went into a spare shop, think of any spare shop that comes to mind.
Midas.
Midas, absolutely Midas. I believe that you get it there. But they've got a special arrangement with Goldwagen, who are doing exceptionally well. Service, pricing, clean facilities. You want Liqui Moly? Go to Goldwagen. Just done a favor to both of you. And you know
Oof.
why? You both deserve it.
So basically, what you're saying is that for my city to go, when it's time to service, I should put Liqui Moly in it.
I think Liqui Moly is good enough for that car. But talking about your city golf, I'm loving watching you on social media. Remember, an old car, it's not about what it has, it's what it does for you.
it does for
A city golf, and I say it respectfully,
100%.
no power steering, no ABS brakes, no electric seats, no aircon, you name it, it doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
100%.
That's a great saying. You name it, it doesn't, have,
doesn't
it.
have it.
But what is it about driving that car?
I just love it. I think I'm at that point where I want to drive my car more than the test cars because it's just grown onto me now, especially after the modifications I've done on the vehicle. So it feels good. And when you get into newer cars, and then you tend to sometimes I question certain qualities in the new vehicles that I
Or
get.
lack thereof.
Lack thereof. Then I'm like, but my City Golf is a 2009 vehicle, but it has this. It feels much better here and there. So I think it's a good basis to actually compare newer vehicles that are actually coming in.
I'll say it again and again, and I'm not contradicting myself. I understand that the industry moves forward. But if we could just freeze development a little bit. So what do I mean by freeze development? A radio is there to play music. It can be a radio station, it can be your music offline, whatever it is, I'm not that technical. However, to make the radio louder, I beg you, please can you just give me a knob left to right? Ask me what I've bought this week. 2 old cars that are blowing me away.
I think I have one because you did share it on the group. You
The
bought
VW Combi.
not that one. The Toyota, the Taz.
The Taz. So actually 3. So the one is going
okay.
to be sold. 2005 Toyota Taz 130. I look at that car, Nikki, and I just ask every single manufacturer, where is that must-have, affordable, long-lasting, entry-level car? That Taz is unbelievable. And it still looks good.
Yeah. I saw the pictures you sent on the group. Wow.
Absolutely beautiful. 130 Taz, one owner. Gentleman is 84 years old, going into a retirement facility, and it's time to sell. And we are proud to say we are the buyers of that. But that will be sold.
Okay.
But I bought 2 to keep for myself. Have you not seen them?
No, I've not seen them at all.
1970 VW Combi. They call it the Lowlight. Very, very simple. You'll see on your screen right now what is a VW Combi Lowlight. It is magnificent. 1600 Beetle engine, capable of carrying 10 people,
Okay.
capable of towing a caravan, they used to say in the day. Imagine a 1600 car with 45 horsepower, which is about 35 kilowatts, with 10 people and towing something.
Must be interesting.
It's not how it goes, it's how it makes you feel. Absolutely magnificent. And then I have to share the next one with you. 1976 Chev 4100 LS.
Okay.
Okay,
1400.
you can see Nikki saying, tell me more. 1976, that was like in the olden days.
In the olden days,
If you
indeed.
take the year 1973 to the year 1978, The best-selling medium-sized car in South Africa was a Chev 2500, 2.5 litre, Chev 3800, 6-cylinder 3.8, and Chev 4100 like we got. Same engine, essentially, just with a longer stroke. It is absolutely incredible. But what stands out for me, and I'm in awe, automatic gearbox, how many speed?
4 at maximum.
4 at maximum.
But I'm gonna say 3.
100%. They called it a Trimatic. That was the name of the gearbox.
So it's a 3-speed.
3-speed.
Wow.
Literally 1-2D. However, what is standout? When I say standout, I am floored. The smoothness. Nikki, you drive this car hard. When I say hard, not meaning you're hammering it. It's a 4.1 litre straight 6, so the engine is silky smooth. You put it in drive and you floor it. You get that chirpy wheel spin.
Okay.
55 kilometers an hour in first, up to 110 in second, and then the rest to the 170 kilometer an hour top speed. When I say the rest, the final drive, third gear. The changes are imperceptible. It's like this. It's unbelievable, magnificent.
Yes.
That is a car that I've always dreamed of. Because why? Who owned one?
Your dad?
100%.
Okay.
When you talk about a Peugeot 404, when you talk about a Chev 4100, it's always going to be my dad, my granddad, my neighbor.
Yes.
20 years from now, we're going to have kids, or I've got kids already, and he's going to say, you will not believe, in 2017, I remember my dad coming home with this car. And in 25 years, it will be a car that we'll think is like now old and antiquated.
100%.
But the youngsters will have memories of that. Now, you get into this car, it's got a smell. That is the same as it was when it was new. You cannot get rid of that smell. It's not that you're trying to get rid of it, but you just can't. It like hits you. Like a good deodorant hits you, or a good aftershave.
100%.
This hits you.
So we always get questions. Well, not me, but you specifically.
Somebody's got to do the hard work.
Yeah.
I'm taking one for the team.
Yeah, I'm not for the hard work. You're taking one for the team. So can you share like a top 500 questions that you get from the public?
Of course. 500. Okay. Question 375. So one of the things that I would love to talk about today is something completely different. And when I mention it, you're going to say, wow, I never thought of that. Coastal cars. What do you think at face value of coastal cars? What's the first thing that goes through your mind? Positive or negative?
Positive. Positive because a lot of people, especially like us in Gauteng, when they want to buy a vehicle, they always say, I got it from the coast. So it's always positive when I think about it.
So for me, not being argumentative, there's not one single thing positive about buying a car from the coast. There's many things positive about driving the car to the coast and getting that performance increase. But let's talk about the negatives. The obvious, what is it?
Rust
Rust where?
on the body of the vehicle.
Okay, so now that is what for me is interesting. If you take a modern car, it can be literally, I always say, from an Alfa Romeo to a Volvo. They'll give you, I think, a 3 or 5 year paint guarantee. Modern paints are exceptional. Modern anti-rust is exceptional, but only where you can see it. So I can tell you, we'll buy a 2020 car from Cape Town, from Durban, from Port Elizabeth, from Richards Bay. You look at the body, nothing, not a problem. But look a little bit deeper, and all of a sudden you just say, wow, wow, wow. Check this. Give you an example. Or let me ask you, what does look deeper mean? Where would you look deeper?
In the engine bay?
100%. So you go to your radiator, the hoses, those clamps.
Yeah.
They are rusted. You go to the battery clamps. They've got rust on them. Go to your windscreen wipers. No joke. Go to your windscreen wipers. Now, the question I asked you, what advantage is there? Think about the following. It rains in the Western Cape. It rains in Port Elizabeth. It rains on the Natal coast. All that salt air goes onto the road, right?
Yeah,
You don't even realize it, but it's on the road.
On the road.
You drive, it's underneath.
Clicks up
It's
to the car.
on your suspension. Go dig deep underneath a car that comes from the coast. Look at the suspension, and it's an eye opener. Because even when you take your car to a car wash, they don't go give it a steam clean underneath. That is why I said, you look at the body, nothing. You won't notice it. So one of the questions I asked you, what are the advantages? If you went onto any website, it can be ChangeCars, it can be AutoTrader, it can be cars.co.za. Is there a tab that says, good news, this car comes from the coast, there's a 15, 18 or 20% discount? You won't see it.
You won't see it.
So I'll ask the question with respect, and I'd like to see the views of the listeners and the followers. What logical reason would there be to buy a car, let's use a simple example, 2021 Polo with 65,000 kilos that comes from a coastal area versus inland? There's going to be no difference in price. It's not going to be disclosed. What advantage is there? The tip for the day, if possible, avoid coastal cars. You're paying the same price and you are getting less. You're getting a little bit of a weight reduction, about 0.5%, where all the parts have rusted away.
So, quick one. I've noticed with older vehicles, essentially, they are easier to find in the coast. So, for example, if I'm looking for a clean Volkswagen VR6, for example, Jetta VR6, it'll take me longer to find it in Gauteng than it would if I go to like the coast. Why is that?
So it's a very interesting perspective. I must be honest, I never thought about that. But thinking on my feet, older people that would have them, maybe they've retired to Plettenberg Bay, they've retired to Ballito, Mhlanga, Cape Town, they've got them in their garage. But again, a car like that, I'm not changing my tune. There you can buy it because it's a niche car. I don't have a choice. I don't have 30 VR6s around. I don't have 30 1985 Alfa Romeos. But if I'm looking for a Polo, a Haval, a BMW, a Toyota Cross, whatever it may be, why would I buy it from a coastal area if I could buy it from Joburg? Phone any single dealership in Gauteng, in Limpopo, in Mpumalanga, in the Free State, in the Northern Cape, and say, I'm in Cape Town, I'm in Durban, I'm in Port Elizabeth. Would you be prepared to deliver? What will they say to you?
Yes.
No questions asked. Again, sounds like I'm repeating it the third time. I'll repeat it 4 times. If you have a choice, you're paying the same price, you're getting a car with guaranteed no rust. In Mpumalanga, the areas I mentioned, Limpopo, Free State, Gauteng, the chances of rust on a modern car are as near as makes no difference, 0.
100%.
The chances of rust on a car in the other provinces at the coast is very much there on the areas that we've mentioned.
Okay, so that was the first question. That was question number 360.
367.
367. Okay, so you owe me 499. Let's get to the second one.
Your car, out of warranty, out of maintenance plan. Where do you service it?
At a friend. And obviously, you don't service it back at the most at the dealer. Where
Well,
got
you
it from.
can, but at face value, you've got to believe taking your car to Toyota, to Volkswagen, to Audi, whatever the case may be, is going to be more expensive than taking it to a quality workshop.
100%.
Now, the term quality workshop, what does that mean to you? Your friend, he may be a quality mechanic, but you've got to assume that he's not.
Yes, 100%. So I'd like to think a workshop that is regulated and rated by a certain group of people, like the body just mentioned now.
So there's an organization called the RMI. From what I understand, it stands for Retail Motor Industry. They regulate the body. So I want to belong to them, but I've got a workshop in the backyard, and I've got no VAT number, and I've just got no hoists and no lifts. I ain't going to be an RMI approved dealer. Then you take some quality workshops that are approved by them, that have got all the facilities, diagnostic equipment. That is what is termed an RMI dealer. Now, I want to take my car to Volkswagen, BMW, as I said, whoever the case may be. It's got 130,000 kilometers, needs a service. What kind of bill am I expecting?
Well, the ones you just mentioned, nothing under 20,000 rand.
100%. If I say nothing under 20,000 rand, I think that will be low. You take it to an RMI workshop. Number one, go under the car with them. Let the gentleman say, have a look at the suspension bush, it is worn. Look at this tie rod end, it is worn. Don't quote me on something that has still got 10, 15, 20, 30,000 kilometers. And I fear, and it's not negative, just a reality, that often you'll go to the authorized agent and they look at it and they say, this is 75% worn. Is it 25% that's remaining make it dangerous? No. But you know what? Let's scare the guy. Batteries. When last did you hear of a battery on a modern car absolutely failing? It just doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
But every single day I'll get a call from a lady, and it sounds rude, but it's from a lady who's been told that while a battery is perfect at face value, the charge rate is low. Absolute BS. It's working or it ain't working. There is no in between. If it battles to start once or twice, you've got a problem. Don't leave it. Go change your battery. If it doesn't battle to start, don't worry about it. Would you agree with me on a modern battery?
100%. If the vehicle kicks and it starts, then I feel like there's nothing to worry about. If it takes a bit of a while, then you need to be on the fence and change it.
Are you saying that famous saying, if it ain't broken,
don't fix it?
You see? We're philosophical on this show as well.
It's simple as that. So that was, you said it was number what? You didn't tell me the question number this time.
You didn't ask.
Okay, fair enough.
Close to the end. 498.
498.
You got one of two chances.
Okay.
499 and 500.
Okay, so let me just actually, because this show is gonna go for 5 hours if I let you answer all those 500 questions. Just give me one more topic that you get asked a lot.
So when I'm looking to buy a car, or when I'm looking to sell a car, where do I go? And funny enough, looking to buy a car and looking to sell a car, there's one name that comes up repeatedly. Who would that be? Would you imagine?
We buy cars.
Interesting. Now, why do you say that?
I think because of how it's so big out there, like it's known everywhere you drive. If a province you're in, you will know there is a We Buy Cars.
If you don't know that We Buy Cars exist, I always say you've been living in a cave with the light switched off and you have bigger challenges than finding out that they exist. The brand We Buy Cars, let's divide it into two, buying and selling. Let's start with you looking to sell a car to We Buy Cars. Would I recommend them?
Yes.
Every single day of the week. What they've done, they came into the market in 2021. They don't dominate the market. They absolutely own the market. Somebody's looking to sell a car, I will guarantee you they've got a quote from We Buy Cars. To even date, I've never heard one single complaint, not one, about the selling experience.
Yeah.
We Buy Cars will buy anything and anywhere.
100%, that's
Now,
true.
what is the problem with that?
There's no problem with that. For me,
They'll buy anything,
Oh, the problem-
anywhere.
the problem becomes when they have it. Now it's time to sell it for them to make their money back.
That's why I said let me divide it into two parts. Would I recommend selling a car to We Buy Cars? Absolutely, with your eyes closed. And there's not a person in the industry that will not tell you they're an exceptional organization. However, I buy anything. Last week we were talking about an Audi A4 with 100,000 kilos. The engine is klar. Finished. Klar and finished, or finished and klar, whichever order you like. If you found We Buy Cars, will they buy that car from you?
100%.
They will say to you, sir, this car's got a book value of 185,000 Rand, 100,000 kilos. If it was mechanically superb, we'd give you 185,000 Rand. Because the engine is klar, we're going to offer you, thumbs up, 60, 70, 80,000 Rand. They're buying it at the right price. They will disclose it, no doubt. But when you go in to buy that car, what possible reason would you spend that kind of money on a vehicle that has got an engine problem? So in a nutshell, We Buy Cars will buy and sell anything. I believe, and I'll get asked this, if I say to you between 5 and 10 times a day, hi Mike, I've seen the following at. Hi Mike, I've seen the following at.
We buy cars.
167,000, 135,000. One question that I always ask, why did the previous owner sell that car? He didn't like the color, didn't like the color of the seats, he didn't like the make of tires? No, sir. He saw the problems that are coming. How do you avoid that? Don't buy a high mileage German car, and preferably be very, very careful when you go and look at a car that has not been checked out.
So we're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to speak about the positives, because we're always speaking about some negative things. So this is for you guys. We're going to speak about interest rate cut and how that affects us. But best believe, it's good news.
Looking to buy a new or used car? Visit changecars.co.za.
Welcome back to the Keep It on Change Cars podcast. I did say before the break that I have some good news, and some good news means saving money. Mike, tell us about saving money.
Tell us about saving money or how to save money. To the governor of the Reserve Bank, please keep doing what you're doing. Keep the interest rates going south, not north. So now interest rate cuts. Obvious. You know you're going to pay less on your home loan installment, your car installment, etc. But what does it do for you more than save you money? For me, it's that positivity. I'm out there, I'm thinking of buying a car. I know interest rates are going up. Do I want to get into this for 5 years? Then when you have an interest rate cycle that goes down, what does it do for the buying public's confidence?
It encourages you to actually say, okay, and now I can actually go buy the vehicle because interest rates are going down.
So think about this. I buy a car for 500,000 Rand, 300,000 Rand, doesn't make a difference. My payment is XX. When I've got an interest rate cut, the total amount that I'm going to owe on that car over the 5, 6, 7 year period, depending on how long I took it, is reduced. So it makes it easier as well when I come to resell that car. We've got high interest rates. After 36 months, I'm just using a thumbs up figure, the amount owing to the bank is 365,000. But my car's only worth 330,000. So I've got a shortfall. But now you've got constant interest rate cuts. That 365 brings it closer to the 330. The car's value doesn't change. The car's value is based on the car's value. But an interest rate cut for everybody. the confidence, the long-term outstanding balance. Every single thing comes into play. What are the most successful countries in the world? High interest rates or low interest rates?
Low interest rates.
100%. I'm off to Australia this week, and I think, I may be wrong, but bond rates are 4% there. 4%. I mean, that's not paying interest. That's like making a donation as far as I'm concerned.
100%. So that means the interest rate cuts are good for the country. So the one that just happened now, do you think it's going to continue happening, or?
I really do believe it's going to continue happening. When you see an interest rate cut, you will always see the governor of the Reserve Bank very cautious thereafter. Because why? Interest rate cuts stimulate buying. Buying stimulates inflation. So you want to balance the two. So imagine the governor of the Reserve Bank said, good news, over the next 2 years, we're going to have a 7 percentage points interest rate cut. People will go mull. They will just go buy, and everybody's doing lots of business. They'll say, I've got Nicky, he wants to buy a car. We don't need to sell it to him for 400. We can sell it to him for 425 because it's cheaper, his repayment's going to be, all of those things. So what do? You've got to be cautious. But your simple question was, do I see it continuing? Absolutely. Interest rates at the moment, in my personal opinion, are too high. They need to come down another 2 to 3 percentage points, and then keep it there. Go up a quarter, come down a quarter, go down a half, go up a half. So it's always there or thereabouts. Prime interest rate in South Africa should be around 8.5%. Then you've got the absolute perfect balance. Perfect balance between stimulating growth and not causing inflation.
So this is actually our last podcast for the year. It's been a very interesting...
Is it the last podcast?
The last one. So great.
I'm going on holiday. I'm getting leave.
So it's been a very interesting past couple of months. We've seen the growth of the podcast, and we'd like to thank you guys as like the All Things Motoring and Change Cars team. We'd like to thank you guys for actually watching, especially on TikTok, because we're growing on TikTok. Thank you guys. Thank you for dropping in the questions. Don't worry. This is not the end of the podcast. It's coming towards the end. And I'm speaking about this because there's a point that I want to get across to the audience and everything. As the year comes to an end, 2024, what are the mistakes that a lot of people do in the year 2024 that they should avoid going into 2025?
Very, very good question. And I've often got a saying, there's not a mistake that you can make in 2024 or 2025 that you need to make if you ask the right people. And I'm not saying we're the right people. I'm saying anything you do. If you're looking to lay bricks for paving, ask somebody who's done it before. Is this a good company? Is this the right bricks? Does it get too hot? Is it strong enough? There's not a single thing that you can do that somebody has not already made that mistake. We get people phoning in, writing and saying, I saw a car on Gumtree. I saw a car on Facebook Marketplace and I got scammed. And I say it with absolute respect. There's no number plates visible. The person is asking for a deposit or they're going to sell the car to somebody else. These are all warning signs. Phone us, phone your granddad, say, guys, is it safe to put money into a person's bank account that I haven't seen? Is it safe to buy a car that I haven't seen? Is it safe to buy a high mileage car? Somebody far more intelligent than us or us
100%.
will give you that advice, and you won't need to make that mistake that you will regret. So, Nicky, long answer to a short question. Always ask, always do your homework, take your time. You decide today you want a car. You've got another car that's perfect, but you've got to be in your bonnet, you want to get rid of it. What is the rush? There's no rush.
No rush.
However, you go online, doesn't matter where you go online, you see the car that you want, you buy it today. A week later, you go online, you say, oh my word, I bought a 2019 with 104,000 kilos. Here's a 2019 with 65,000 kilos, 40,000 kilos odd less, and it's cheaper. Time. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, 100%. Actually, because when I was buying my Serial Golf, you told me very well, take your time. And I'd seen one before, but I'm like, actually, let me take my time, only to find a better City Golf and significantly cheaper than the one.
But that is exactly it. And here's a real world example. You were looking for something specific. One came your way, and that would have fitted the bill, but it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
I remember it. I said, Nicky, I'm begging you. Take your time. The City Golf, very, very popular car. There are still a good few of them around. You found the best one. So as we come to the end, I think it's appropriate that I say a big, big thank you to a couple of people. I'm going to start with you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the show.
Thank
If it
you.
wasn't for me, you'd still have the show. You just have another guest. But the most important thank you, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, is who?
Daniel.
Daniel, okay. I was going to say you, the public, the followers, and hopefully we can soon say the fans. 2025, every 2 weeks we're going to be doing this. Love what we're doing. Love working with you. And please remember, if you visit the website, Change Cars or All Things Motoring, my name, my number is there. Do I wish to engage with you? The answer is obvious. I wouldn't have told you to do it if I didn't.
100%. So, guys, remember, it's very important that you guys watch, subscribe, because in 2025, if you think what we brought in 2024 was amazing, in 2025 it's going to be much bigger. We might not even use the studio anymore. You never know. Just joking. We're definitely going to use the studio. But I love the fact that you guys are supporting us. You're making us want to do the show a bit more. So, see you guys in the year 2025. Unless if we decide to come back just before the year ends, but I doubt we will. But you never know. So I'm Nicky Nash as always. Michael Pashut, my host, my co-host essentially. He's not a guest anymore.
Thank you, Nicky. Thank you.
You're furniture here. You like the chair you're sitting on now.
Thank you to you, and again, thank you to you.
Thank you guys. We'll see you guys in the year 2025. Bye.